You know, I'm going to piss off a large portion of the community when I say this, but it helps lay the background for this video and informs my decisions. Okay, are you ready? I am a modern zombies fan instead of a classic zombies fan.
What the hell?
There, I said it. I know. I enjoy and find more entertainment in modern zombies. Now, that is not to say I think classic is inferior to modern or vice versa. I have played zombies since World at War, but I did not start actively getting into it until around Cold War. In fact, I actually missed out on BO3 when it came out and only started playing it earlier this year with my friend while doing the Super Easter egg. So now that I have my backstory laid out, let me pitch my ideas on how I would fix Call of Duty Zombies. Alright, so the first major change I would make is reworking the armor and rarity system. This system is one of the biggest sources of criticism from the zombies community, because it has effectively made our beloved zombies experience feel like a copy and paste version of Warzone. However, I do think that with certain tweaks and adjustments, it can fit perfectly into zombies. When it comes to weapon rarity, I do not actually think it is as bad as people say it is. The problem is not that the system exists, the problem is how it's used. Right now, rarity just feels like another stat boost, and because of that, it makes the whole mode feel more loot-based than survival-based. Instead of rarity outright boosting your damage so heavily, I would make it unlock attachments. For example, level 1 will allow you to get a sight and selected magazine of your choice. Level 2 would give you a stock adjustment, muzzle, and laser. Level 3 would give you a barrel, mods, and the last attachment slot on your gun. This way, if you do not want to upgrade your weapon, then you're only missing out on a small advantage that does not seriously hurt your gameplay. But if you do want more control over your weapon build, then you could upgrade it without feeling like you're turning zombies into Warzone. The reason I do not just say to get rid of rarity completely is that I think the system helps give players something else to work towards besides perks and pack-a-punch. One of the issues with modern zombies is that players can get set up too quickly, and after that, the match can just start to feel like it's running on autopilot. Rarity, in theory, helps fix that by giving players another layer of progression. It just needs to be progression that feels like zombies, not multiplayer grinding. This change would get rid of a lot of that Warzone feeling, while still staying in line with modern Treyarch philosophy. Now, let's talk about armor. I think armor is the biggest culprit when it comes to making zombies feel like modern zombies. My friends and I have all come to the same conclusion. If anything has to go, it is armor. Armor should be removed from the game in its current form. It does not fit zombies and it ruins the balancing. It makes the mode feel less tense, less punishing, and less survival focused. A big part of zombies is supposed to be that feeling of one bad move and I'm cooked, and armor softens that too much. However, I do think that there is a way to keep the idea without making it feel off. I would turn armor into an augment for Juggernog. Instead of something like Turtle Shell, add an augment that gives you one golden armor plate that regenerates over time. So you still get that extra protection and damage reduction, but it feels much more natural and less intrusive. It becomes part of your build instead of a giant glowing reminder that you're basically playing Warzone but with zombies. And the best part is that because it regenerates on its own, you're not constantly running around thinking about plates, crafting tables, and all that extra nonsense. It becomes a passive survival tool instead of a whole second system sitting on top of a mode. Sure, this could create a meta because it would probably be a highly picked augment, but no amount of buffs or nerfs will ever get rid of metas completely. In the end, let the players have fun. Alright, so the next thing I would change is the awful HUDs we've gotten since Cold War. Instead, add a fully customizable HUD that the player can manage, tune, and change however they want. I am talking full control. If someone wants every piece of information stacked right near their crosshair, then let them do that. If they want it more spaced out, let them do that. If they want it to look closer to the old Call of Duty zombies, let them do that. The current HUD customization is decent, but it's not good enough. It still feels limited, and if modern zombies are going to keep all of these mechanics, then players need the freedom to present that information in a way that does not look like a mobile game. Customization is good because it lets every player fit in instead of pushing people away. If you're one of those people who says, even though I can turn it off, I just do not want it in the game, then I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're just stuck in 2006 and need to open your mind a little. There are plenty of players who want to see health bars of the thing that they're about to mag dump. The answer is not removing options, the answer is giving players more control. Next, I will change the story direction. Stop trying so hard to force zombies into the campaign and just let zombies be their own storyline again with their own characters. Don't get me wrong, I love Weaver, but did we really need the same Weaver from Black Ops 1? That is one of the biggest things holding modern zombies back. The story feels like it's trying to be two things at once, and because of that, it never commits to either one. We do not need an MCU for zombies and campaign. We do not need every mode to be connected just because shared universes are popular. Zombies works because it fully embraces its own weirdness, its own cast, and its own rules. The older stories were memorable because they felt like their own bizarre, chaotic thing. Modern Zombies feels too afraid to be weird in the same way, and that's what makes it safer and flatter and less iconic. The maps would change direction too. I liked Liberty Falls, but imagine if it got hit by a massive tornado. Now, suddenly you have this stormy, windy Liberty Falls that is not only being attacked by the zombies, but also the environment. That already sounds way more memorable. It sounds like a zombies map. It sounds like a place designed around atmosphere and chaos. That is the biggest issue with modern zombies maps. Too many of them feel like multiplayer or campaign maps have just been zombified. They do not feel like they were built from the ground up to be a zombies experience. Zombies maps should feel natural, memorable, and almost dreamlike at times. They should be identifiable the second you load in. That is why I think weather systems, map-specific hazards, stronger visual themes, and more exaggerated environments would help a lot. Give me storms, ash in the air, broken power lines, weird lighting, collapsing structures, eerie fog, or maps that change as the rounds go on. Make the map itself feel like part of the mode instead of just a place where the mode happened. I think Citadel's aesthetic was good too, especially with the dust. Oh my god, the amount of dust in the spawn was crazy. That kind of visual atmosphere matters because it helps sell the feeling that you're somewhere cursed, dangerous, and specific, not just in another reused combat area with zombies sprinkled on top. Anyway, that is how I would change the maps. Make them specifically for zombies and add different weather systems and visual identities so they can actually feel like zombies maps. And while we're here, there are a few other common problems with modern zombies I also think I need to fix. Modern Zombies needs to stop over-explaining itself. Modern Zombies sometimes feels scared to let players just discover things. Too much UI, too many markers, too many reminders, too much hand-holding. Let the mode breathe a little. Let players figure out side quests, routes, and map flow naturally instead of having to turn the whole map into a guided tour. Another problem, score streaks and all this extra systems need to be limited harder. Once you stack armor, kill streaks, loadouts, salvage, rarities, augments, ammo mods, field upgrades, and whatever else on top of each other, the mode starts to feel bloated. It stops feeling like a survival horror action and starts feeling like a sandbox of mechanics fighting for screen time. Modern Zombies does not need less content, it just needs clear priorities. Finally, the mode needs more identity in its difficulty. Classic Zombies was simple, but that simplicity is what made it tense. Modern Zombies often gives you too many escape tools, too many safety nets, and too many ways to recover from mistakes. Sometimes, the best fix is not adding more systems, sometimes it's just making the player feel vulnerable again. The biggest thing I would keep though is Curse Mode. Curse Mode is the perfect balance between classic and modern zombies, and the positive feedback proves that. It shows that modern zombies can work. It proves that the formula is not broken at its core. The issue is just that modern zombies keeps getting weighed down by the mechanics and the design choices that pull it too far away from what makes zombies fun in the first place. Curse Mode trims a lot of the extra fat and brings back the tighter, more survival focused feel while still keeping some of the modern improvements. That is why it works. It feels like a modern version of modern zombies that actually understands what people have been asking for. My only issue with Curse Mode though is that you have to grind for the relics. I get the community working together to unlock them is supposed to be part of the fun, but I cannot lie, I just want to boot up Curse Mode, turn on whatever relics I want, and play. I do not want to reach stupidly high rounds just to access the fun part of the mode. If the mode is already proving itself to be one of the best versions of modern zombies, then just let players enjoy it more freely. So overall, I do not think modern zombies needs to be thrown away in the trash, and I do not think classic zombies should be treated like the only correct formula either. Modern zombies absolutely can work. The problem is that it keeps borrowing too much from Warzone multiplayer and campaign without fully protecting what makes zombies feel special. If I were fixing it, I would keep the ideas that add progression and accessibility, but I would strip back the things that kill tension, hurt identity, and make the mode feel bloated. Rework rarity so it rewards customization instead of raw damage. Remove armor as a full system and fold it into Juggernog. Give players way more HUD freedom. Let zombies have their own story again. Make maps feel like actual zombies maps instead of reused spaces. Tone down loadouts, reduce handholding, and stop stacking so many mechanics on top of each other. Because that really is the issue. Modern zombies are not bad because they are modern. It is bad when it forgets what zombies was supposed to be like. And if Treyarch can find the balance, as they did with Curse Mode, then modern zombies could honestly be the best they have ever been.